Welcome into Point Blank, brought to you by Fitz Roofing. I'm Brandon Strange of Sports Map Houston. He's Joe Blank of ESPN 97.5 and 92.5. And if you have not yet, please hit subscribe on the channel. We do appreciate it. Ryan Spaeder, who's an MLB analyst, made a bold move to come forward on Twitter to report from multiple sources who he identified as players from around the league who had told him that what the Astros did in 2017 with the sign stealing was more common in the league than the league has been willing to admit. He's since taken down those tweets and said he now regrets reporting what he calls, quote, unfounded accusations. Now, it's important to point out he did not say that he doesn't believe any of the claims were true. He said that the revelations, in his words, have turned his life upside down. What's interesting is the same week that this happened, it was the same week we saw Andy Martino from New York release a book that lobs a lot of unfounded accusations at the Astros. And to my knowledge, in all the excerpts that I've seen, his sources are also unnamed. So here we have two examples. One guy was praised by the coastal media for making unfounded accusations. The other guy got pressured into deleting his tweets. Joel, what's the difference?
If there's someone that is putting them in grave danger of being completely exposed, embarrassed, and tarnished as a league, they can do things like, hey, you're not going to have credentials anymore. Hey, you that's made several frequent appearances that you referenced on your interview on the bench on MLB Network, you won't be having those anymore because we're going to pull the rug out from under you every way we can because we can strong arm you. And that's what's concerning and bothersome because Rob Manfred and his goons at the Major League Baseball level are probably so freaked out that they pulled out all the stops to make sure that this didn't get out and there weren't any specific further details that came out about the topic. The one thing that I will say, Brandon, is he's not the hero that we thought, and he's not the hero that we need. But now if this opens up a floodgate of ex-players, players, and players on said teams that he named that can actually corroborate these stories and verify, now's the time. Come on out. Don't be as scared as he is, and try and actually bring this story back to the forefront where it belongs.
Well, I can't say that I am optimistic and other people coming out, considering the fact that, you had one person that did and felt pressured that he needed to rescind it almost immediately. I mean, it lasted less than 24 hours. Joel, you mentioned his appearance with ESPN Houston's The Bench. I want to get into some of those comments. Before I do that, give us a word from Fitz Roofing.
We love the people at Fitz Roofing. Look, where else can you go where you get a free, no obligation inspection to fix anything that you need done, whether it be your roof or repairs or a new fence in your yard? And it doesn't cost you anything. Normally, the service call alone is $80 to $100, but not with Fitz Roofing. All you do is pick up the phone. You call 832-521-3001. They come to you. They tell you what they can do. They go back on their way with the rest of their day. You want them to come back? Just make the appointment. Before, during, and after the sale, they do fantastic work. They have the best warranties, the best products, and the best ratings in the business. It's Fitz Roofing, making a difference, one home at a time.
Joel, so prior to Spaeder walking back these statements, he was on ESPN Houston's The Bench this morning with John and Lance. He told them that the reason why he came forward initially was in response to the negative press coverage regarding Garrett Cole and the use of spider tack. He said he was tired of seeing players like Cole and teams like the Astros be the face of systemic problems with MLB. Do you agree with that sentiment?
I do. I think that, and we've talked all along about the hypocrisy within Major League Baseball. On one hand, you only want one team to be the poster children for what could have been a completely league-wide issue that you wanted to sweep under the rug. But on the other hand, you don't want to be the same judicial body doing justice the same way when it comes to spider tack and sticky substances, and you want every name on the blotter, every team that's involved, every big name, big salary, and small name, small salary player, starting with 4 minor league pitchers, by the way. And it's not the way it's supposed to be done. So for him to actually want to be the person that comes out and blows the first whistle, I was 100% behind. I gave him tons of credit for, and I really think that more people would have jumped on board to give him the support that he was afraid he didn't have. And I feel like the only reason why he walked it back is because of the fact that Major League Baseball was basically like the mafia trying to police things their own way, like they've done in both of these situations, and create their own set of rules and or take things away from him to make his life hell.
Well, Spaeder, also told John and Lance that the league considers teams like the Yankees and Dodgers as international teams, that they bridge the sport or can bridge the sport to grow that internationally and overseas. And that in his opinion, it was in their best interest, the leagues that is, to keep those teams clean. Specifically, when he was asked about the issue of that 2017 letter that MLB sent to the Yankees organization that's still sealed, could Spaeder being silenced also be part of this larger effort by MLB to protect the reputation of their most prized franchises?
No question about it, Brandon, because it's like, here's my biggest problem. Unless you're resting your laurels on the Dodgers, Yankees, and Mike Trout, you have no idea what you're doing in terms of marketing your franchises, all of which belong to the same league as the other two teams you think are going to be the ones that carry you to the next level from an international fan base standpoint. It's a backward way of thinking with a sport that's supposed to be forward in mind. They don't know how to market their best players because I don't think a lot of fans even know who Mike Trout is, and he's the best player in the game. So you are completely missing the boat on how you're supposed to market, let alone how you're supposed to govern the sport of baseball.